A former secretary to the government of the Federation, SGF, Babachir Lawal, has described former national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, Oshiomole, as a chairman that had deficiencies in management skills. Nigeria News reports that Lawal, who was sacked as SGF in October 2017 after he was indicted in 544 million naira grass-cutting scandal, made this comment while speaking on the issue of division in the APC in an interview with The Punch. When asked if, with Oshiomole and the APC's National Working Committee's removal and Bola Tinubu's alleged presidential ambitions, if he thinks there could be divisions in the APC, Lawal replied, he said, "First of all, I want to declare that I am a Tinubu man. There is no denying that there is a Tinubu factor in the APC, just like I was a BUHARI'S, and every time Buhari's name was mentioned, I stood by it. But the crisis that started in the APC has nothing to do with 2023. It just had to do with the mismanagement of the party by those entrusted with that responsibility, namely the NWC. We had a chairman that had deficiencies in management skills in a political system where everybody needed to be carried along as much as possible. He was like Alexander the Great in almost every state because of his approach to politics and conflict resolution. There was crisis even in states where the APC had no governors. So it got to a stage where everybody was fed up with having Oshiomole as the chairman. However, there were some people who wanted Oshiomole out more than the rest, and members of the APC knew they had ulterior motives that were not altruistic but majorly selfish, he added. Asked if the selfishness has anything to do with 2023, the former SGF said yes, like some governors who wanted to go back to the old days when they would sit down and decide what would happen to who got what in the party. Many within the party felt that as a former governor and Labour leader, he would be able to stand up to the governors. We also felt that coming to that position with some affluence, he would not sell our party for pecuniary considerations. But Oshiomole, to some certain extent, did not give the governors 1 inch because he was autocratic or a dictator, and the governors who wanted to go back to running the party created a crisis. It got to a point when even those of us who ordinarily supported Oshiomole later became disappointed because he so messed us up. But because those who wanted to throw him out were worse than him, we stood by him. They deployed all kinds of arsenal and Machiavellian tactics that no one after something good will be inclined to do. Some of us advocated for a soft landing for him. Likely every other human being, Oshiomole had his weaknesses. He, however, started to change towards the end of his reign, but it came too late. Those who wanted him out were more desperate. From my own observation, there is very little the national chairman of a party can do to impose a presidential candidate on their party, Lawal said. Okay, so guys, what do you have to say to this? Because this whole thing, they know Oshiomole would have left that position for a very long time, even 1 month or 2 months after he became national chairman of the party. A lot of things were just coming in, the way he was talking, the way he was bragging, this and that, and they had to caution him. He would have left since then. Just like the man said that they were even disappointed because at some point they didn't even know what to do because he had messed up everything according to what he said. And when people come back to Edo State, people will be saying, oh, Obaseki did this, Obaseki did that. In almost all the states that APC was leading or was the ruling party as at then, almost all of them had problem with Oshiomole. And I was like, could it be the same thing? Was it because Obaseki tried to betray Oshiomole that made him have a problem in all those states? It goes beyond that. And to worsen the whole thing, is having problem again in his own state. We are not even talking about other states. After all, nobody will tell us that he made all of those governors in those states, he made them governors, or they betrayed him. They will tell you this and that. Everybody has his weakness, but when Oshiomole whatever is all over the place and they want to impose or put the blame on Obaseki, that Obaseki is a betrayer, is this after helping him. So how many of those people that Oshiomole put in place that he became their godfather, that he helped them, so that was why they were doing all of those things? He didn't manage the whole thing well. That is just the way it is. It was not even at the end of his tenure, because it was supposed to be 4 years, but 2 years down the line, he was sacked. He was removed completely. Had he been finished his tenure, maybe if he had spent like 3 years, would have said, okay, towards the end of his tenure. I don't think whatever is I don't know if it is 2 years or 4 years to become the chairman of a party, but that is not what we are talking about. What we are talking about is that Oshiomole did not manage the whole thing very well. And these are the party people. They know it, but they were just trying to cover up. And I said it then that Oshiomole would have left, but the hand or the people who were behind him, they are stronger. But at some point, the center could no longer hold, because the whole thing was just all over the place. Somebody is going to blame anybody the way Oshiomole talks. I think somebody will say, oh, Oshiomole, the way Oshiomole talks, the way Oshiomole carries himself, the way he talks to people, is as a result of what Obaseki did. Because no, he has his own whatever that has really been working against him. This idea of just talking, not even, no reservation. But the people, they themselves, they know the problem, but they will just still come out and tell you, oh, that is not the issue. But the more these people who are always economical with the truth, because they are trying to defend their own people tend to see how they do not even have that integrity, because once something that is glaring, you people will be patching it up. Then what are you talking about? And you expect people to feel that you have integrity. Of course, people will still be talking about Babache Lawa. I don't understand, because they are of same. This same man is working freely. This same man is being interviewed, talking about issues in the nation. And meanwhile, he committed an offense too, and nobody is holding him accountable. He's not being brought to book, because the reason why we can say that categorically is that allegations were made against him, and at the end of the day, he was asked to step aside. He steps aside so that they will be able to do investigation. What's how the investigation? They didn't tell us whether he was guilty or not. The next thing, they removed him. Why did you remove him? If he had not done anything and he did the right thing, you can't remove somebody, because that is an indictment on its own, even without going to court. For him to have been removed as the SGF speaks volume. So they will always try to cover themselves. Now he has been able to tell us what actually happened, because they were trying to cover themselves and they would not want to say the truth. They knew the problem they were facing while Oshiomole was there. But now, all of those people now are free. So the whole burden is now on Edo people, the way Oshiomole has been handling things. That's just it. So guys, let us hear your opinion. What do you think? Leave your comments and let us know your thoughts.